Second is opposed idol worship. Opposed idol worship. See, the idea is belief in one God means belief in one mankind. When you're believing in multiple gods, they are creating a lot of issues, multiple mankinds. So that create different religion, different caste, etc., and that creating a lot of divide. So to solve all the problems, even to solve the problems of untouchability, you believe in one God, you should not practice idol worship. So there is one God, one mankind. When we discuss about Arya Samaj, although we are discussing it as revivalist movement, this is a common point. Even in Arya Samaj also they oppose idol worship, and you cannot see any idols in the Arya Samaj temple. So very important point. So you may have confusion, because when we discuss about revivalism or revivalist movement, you may think that opposing idol worship may not be there in Arya Samaj. Okay, but one of the point in Arya Samaj, when we discuss about Arya Samaj, we will discuss this. Even in Arya Samaj also, they opposed idol worship, and you cannot see any idols in Arya Samaj temples across India. Now, one of his most important contribution is related to Sati. All of you know that. So he opposed Sati, and he faced a lot of problems from the society and even from his family. And in fact, he saved 2 females from the spot with the help of some volunteers. He went there, he convinced the relatives, and he saved 2 female from committing sati. Okay, so sati is a practice which was among the upper caste Hindus in northern part of India. I told you already. What is the practice? The husband has died, the female will immolate herself into the funeral pyre of the husband, right? So which was very brutal practice, but it was banned, or anti-sati resolution was passed by Lord William Bentinck in 1828 with the effort of Rajaram Mohan Roy. Under anti-sati resolution, sati was declared as culpable homicide not amounting to murder, and a maximum imprisonment of 10 years was given for those who instigate or compel the female to commit suicide. So this is one of the most important contribution from Lord William Bentinck's side as well as Rajaram Mohan Roy's side. Okay, so he opposed caste hierarchy, especially untouchability. But there was no such movement for abolition of untouchability from Rajaram Mohan Roy's side, unlike in case of Sati. Sati, he put a lot of effort, okay, but untouchability he although opposed, but there was no such movements against untouchability. He also he opposed untouchability, opposed Sati. He promoted women education. He promoted women education. And he opened schools for girls after 1825. See, at that time it was not very easy for women to go out of the home. Okay, so he promoted women education and he started schools for female. Now, he is also important for his literary contribution. So let's see his literary contribution also. He was a writer himself. He introduced essay writing on contemporary issues. Okay, so he introduced essay writing on contemporary issues. The problem with Indian literature is it's full of fantasies and stories, and it is completely cut off from the mainstream society or the problems that the society was facing. So he introduced essay writing on contemporary issues. Now they are going to write, or the people are going to read about the contemporary issues. So it will create awareness among the minds of the young people. Okay, so he literally made a movement which is known as movement of mind. Now, another literary contribution is he is the pioneer in starting the Indian language newspaper. So when we discussed about press freedom, we have discussed about all those newspapers and everything. So I told you the first newspaper in India was Bengal Gazette, and it was by James Augustus Hickey, which was in English language. And I told you the first Indian language newspaper, that is Samvad Kaumudi, which was published by Rajaram Mohan Roy. Okay, so he was the pioneer in first Indian language newspaper in 1818. Samvad Kaumudi, which was in Bengali language. Okay, Samvad Kaumudi in Bengali language. Okay, so he himself was the editor. Okay, so he was the editor of this newspaper, and the speciality is this is the first Indian language newspaper, Bengali language. In 1821, he published in Persian language Mirat ul Akbar, okay, which was in Persian language. So these are some literary contribution. If you get some factual questions, you need to be in a position to answer. Okay, so this you need to be very careful. Miratul Akbar. Otherwise, see who was the editor or who published this newspaper, and if you get options like Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and Raja Ram Mohan Roy, you will stuck between two and you will mark Sir Syed Ahmad Khan by seeing the name. But actually it was published by Rajaram Mohan Roy. Now he authored some books also. The Precepts of Jesus, The Precepts of Jesus, which was in English language. Okay. Then Tuhfatul Muwahidin, Tuhfatul Muwahidin, a gift to monotheist. Okay, that's what the meaning, and it was in Persian. So basically, this you need to be a little more careful because the name will force you to pick some other answer. Okay, so just before I told you, if you get option where Sir Syed Ahmad Khan is there, you may tend to pick that as the correct answer. But Rajaram Mohan Roy, just remember this: Tuhfatul Muwahidin and Miratul Akbar. Okay, now he was born on 22 May 1772 in Bengal and died 27 September 1833 in Bristol. And Rajaram Mohan Roy, the title Raja was given to him by Akbar II and not because he was Raja of any state or kingdom. So it was a title given to him, and he died in Bristol. Okay, he died in Bristol. He went to England to request the Queen to grant some more pension to the King Akbar II. Okay, so these are the important points that we need to discuss under Rajaram Mohan Roy. Now, even after the death of Rajaram Mohan Roy, the Brahma Sabha or the Brahmo Samaj was continued by Devendra Nath Tagore and Keshub Chandra Sen, which I have already told you. These two people are very important because these are the two people who took Brahmo Samaj outside Bengal, especially Keshub Chandra Sen. Now, if you get a mains question on Rajaram Mohan Roy, how will you conclude? Or basically, what is the importance of Rajaram Mohan Roy? So he was the first among the Indians to start a social reform. Okay, or he was the first among the Indians who started thinking logically, rationally, and which is based on evidence and reason. Better political thinking. So he started reform with modern scientific and rational ideas, political liberal ideas, etc. Okay, that's the importance of Rajaram Mohan Roy. Literary contribution we have discussed, and other social contribution also we have discussed. So he questioned the practices of Hindu society. So Hindu society, he questioned the practices like untouchability, like polytheism, pantheism, idol worship, etc. And he opened Brahmo Samaj, which promoted single God concept, formless God concept, and no idol worship. Okay. The similarity with Arya Samaj, this is reformist movement. Arya Samaj was revivalist movement, but still the similarity is idol worship was opposed by both. Okay. Now he was ready to accept good things from other culture. Okay, at the same time he was proud of his own culture, and he tried to abolish atrocities, like he was against untouchability and especially sati. Okay, so he abolished untouchabilities, so you can write sati. He did not went for any such movement for untouchability, but still you can talk about sati. And for all these reasons, you can call him as father of modern India, at least for the first reason. Started reform. He was the first person who started thinking, not the first person, first Indian who started thinking modern lines, scientific lines, and rationally, and political liberal thoughts. Okay, I hope this is clear for all of you. Now let's quickly look at the main principles of Brahmo Samaj. Okay, so main principles of Brahmo Samaj. So basically the first and most important one is God is one. He is worthy of worship and is prohibited from being worshipped as God or goddesses. There is God is formless, and you cannot treat him as human, you cannot treat him as animal, so you cannot consider goddess or God. God is one. Okay, so that's the concept. God is one and he is worthy of worship. Now second point, people of every caste or class had the right to worship God. Okay, so all caste or class have the right to worship God. Next point, there is no need of a symbol for devotion. There is no need of symbol for devotion. Okay, no need of symbol for devotion. Next point, God is immortal and he will never birth in the form of a man. Okay, God is immortal and he will never birth in the form of a man. Next point, salvation is almost impossible without the mercy of God. You need the mercy of God to achieve salvation. So salvation is impossible without the mercy of God. So these are key points. Some more point if you need. Saul is immortal. Saul is immortal. Okay. Then next point, salvation can be achieved by giving up committing of sins. Okay. So giving up committing of sins, you will achieve salvation. So don't commit of sins. Next is to love human beings and to have love towards them is the supreme religion. So he is basically promoting love, and love is the supreme religion. Now finally, there is no place for idol worship. Okay, so two key points if you ask me. This is one and this is one and this is the second one. So these are the two key points. Otherwise all are features or points we can write under Brahmo Samaj.